We're back.
Hey, we're back.
Welcome back to the Dance Hour.
The Dance Hour. Another week.
Another week, another episode.
Another week, another view.
Yeah.
Another, hopefully, email. Hopefully, another star.
Oh.
Hopefully, another review.
You know, coming off of last week's episode.
That was a fun one. It was cool to have Bobby on.
Yeah.
He was like, because we've been doing the pod for a while, and he would be like, oh, when are you going to have me on? Or,
Oh, he was asking for.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Because he's just very gracious that way. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Or he would like do this game where he's insulted that
That you haven't
had him
you haven't
on
asked
yet.
him.
Yeah. I was trying to save the favor, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be back again sometime, but
Yeah.
I like that it's in this nicer studio instead of when we were doing it just audio in K-Town.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a little bit of like grittiness to it, but I get the appeal. You want to have your big guests in a very
Sure.
accommodating space.
Yeah, I'm all about saving the favor for the perfect time.
Versus like, hey, street parking is hit or miss. Circle the block a couple times, and can't guarantee if your car is going to be set. You know, like that's the risky run. When we weren't in this nice bunker.
You know what's funny about Bobby though is like having a wild animal in the podcast studio.
Oh yeah.
You know, trying to rein. Like he wants to go scenario direction.
Yeah.
Because there's different Bobbies. Like I've learned this just especially after doing the pod. Because like I hang out with him at the store, and I've been on the road with him when we would, you know, he would take me to open for him.
Yeah.
And also sometimes we'll go to dinner still and just talk about life, showbiz stuff. Mm-hmm. And I get that type of Bobby. Okay. Like I get one-on-one Bobby.
Yeah.
I get introspective Bobby.
Yeah.
And that's like super interesting to me, like Bobby the human.
Yeah.
And then there's Bobby the performer. There's Bobby the stand-up, Bobby the podcast personality, and like shades bleed into each other and everything. But it was like a light switch. I'm just not used to performer Bobby interacting with performer Bobby.
Gotcha.
Because normally I just get like Bobby the human.
Yeah.
And we're just very real. We talk about things, and there's like a banter here and there.
Yeah.
And then I forgot. I go, oh, I got podcast Bobby, which is fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not used to, because like I've been on Tiger Belly like once or twice, and he likes to be the maestro.
Yeah.
And kind of dictate and
his show. Yeah.
And he knows how kind of. I think you are like I am.
Yeah.
You know, Afghan.
Yeah.
And
we're very reserved.
Reserved.
Yeah.
Yes. And he loves
taking
us down.
Yeah.
You know,
I think like right before, like he smelled the blood and he was like, these guys, I'm gonna fuck with these guys.
Yeah. Let me paint some scenarios.
Yeah. Well, which was fun, you know, it was fun. Cause I mean, we have I feel like you have a comedy podcast. Dance Hour is like,
sure,
like under the umbrella of comedy podcasts, but it's a very like, toned down, I guess. Cause there isn't really bits or gags or jokes or.
No, man. I just like, and look, there's tastes for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
But I just like conversation. And if jokes arise.
Yeah.
But stand-up is kind of, it's what I do there.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of want to get to some real shit, and then some jokes come along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to like.
I don't know. Let me keep track of time. Okay. So just so we're on time. I don't know if we talked about it in the last 2-3 episodes, but we've hit like a full 3 years of
crazy.
This podcast.
It doesn't feel like 3.
Yeah. It was like, do you remember when we talked about the podcast? We were in K-Town. We did like brunch at like some little brunch spot off Western.
Oh, that's a good spot. Is you go like up the stairs and there's a coffee thing?
Yeah. I guess it was one of your spots, and we're like, we want to do this podcast, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. I don't know how long this is gonna go for,
sure,
but I'm in for the ride. I didn't think it would go for 3 years, you know. But it's been fun. So my question is, has this podcast brought up any bits for you on stage? Because you were like, you wanted this as like this creative outlet type of thing where you sometimes maybe workshop ideas or whatnot. Has any idea come from the podcast, or like in conversation where you're like, oh, I'm gonna take this on stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not on purpose, or
Yeah.
I think somebody commented, because I'm posting more stand-up on YouTube and stuff, and also Instagram. I guess like the Hit the Road Jack bit. Maybe sometimes I have intentions of doing a bit, and it just happens to come up in conversation before I get a chance to even do it on stage. So sometimes this will be like the soft open for before I actually do it on stage. And I didn't even realize that was one that I may have mentioned on the podcast, and then I posted a clip on Instagram, and somebody just thought it was very cool. They commented it was very cool to see. It casually brought up in the podcast, and then to see it on stage.
Oh, that's funny.
Kind of like see how the sausage is made. The halal sausage is made.
It's been.
I don't know, but I also just like having this block. It's like blue sky. It's just when you do stand up, there's expectations. People pay money. It's fun and everything, but it's a tightrope act. It's a high wire act. It's a little more. It's not as relaxed as this.
Yeah. I get that.
It's a different type of viewing and audience experience, and expectations are vastly different between a stand-up audience and a casual podcast listener. Like I don't got to hit you with punches every 2 seconds. And I feel like I'm not the appropriate co-host for that. Like I feel like I'm not one to take your bit and you're like, and then this and then this and then it's a different thing.
I feel like if there was a comedian, if this was like a two-way comic thing, it'd be like, all right, I'm gonna build off of this, and then we'll go the entire episode, and then I'm just like,
I don't know, it's a different thing though.
But no, because I was thinking about it on the drive here. I was like, damn, like we've been doing this for 3 years.
I also like it just as an outlet to talk at length. Because I don't really get a chance. Dude, I'm at work, and then like that's about work, and then stand-up, that's a different thing, and then sketches, but just to sort of, I live with me, so I don't think these things are very interesting. But I guess when you take a bird's eye view, like going to the comedy store, doing stand-up, and like auditions, and like, you know, getting close on SNL or whatever. Like these are kind of interesting little factoids for people who are not in the world. And it's a way for me to connect with my fans outside of just my stand-up. Like getting to know me beyond the art. And Bobby kind of alluded to that as well. Just knowing the person behind the performance.
That's true.
So this is kind of a neat way to do that. And that's why it's been fun to do for 3 years.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we've gone this far, and I'm excited to see the next 3 years.
Where it goes.
You know? Yeah. I feel like maybe at the trajectory of how you're going in the next 3 years, you're just going to go full Hollywood on me.
I'm just wearing sunglasses.
You're just going to be like, fuck this. I like talk to my agent, coordinate. Like I'm going to be like, hey, Fahim, are we down to record on Wednesday?
And then just have my agent run between, he whispers in your ear. And then you bring it back to me.
You're going to be like, let me circle in my agent on this text. And now I'm like coordinating with like Andy or something. I'm like, hey, Andy, it's Fahim.
I just can't wait to get to the point where there's 10 people between me and the message. It's like a game of telephone. Where people are just so discouraged at how many layers there are between me and them that they don't even bother asking.
I think it'll be fascinating because I feel like it's any day now that you're going to be like, can you just text my assistant and just like coordinate, like she knows my dates or he knows what time like I'll be free for the podcast. Just coordinate with that. They'll put it in my schedule.
You know, it's funny is like Hasan did that one time
with you.
But I can text him anytime. I can call him. I can get him on the phone.
You going to a show next week?
I think so. Yeah. I saw Asif at the Comedy Store last night.
Oh, nice.
Because I was performing and he was up in one of the rooms as well.
Oh, nice.
And then we were just chatting in the hallway and just talking about Aristotle. Because, dude, so much shit has happened. It's crazy. Like, it's great that we had Bobby on, but so many things that we might have addressed, like were just you and me. Got like pushed a week. So Aristotle getting on SNL.
Aristotle Theory, I got the SNL thing, and he's been a big part of your life.
Dude,
and comedy.
He was in K-Town as well. We were next door neighbors, studio apartments, living in K-Town. We were making sketches even before GOATFACE when it was just.
I remember. I used to, and I've told you guys. I think we had him on the podcast. He was our first guest.
Oh yeah, all right.
My apartment.
Dig into the. Into the Fahim Anwar Dance Hour archives, and you'll see the one with Aristotle.
It was probably one of the first episodes that we did in the first, because it was in my apartment in K-Town.
Yeah, dude.
I
forgot about that. We got to get him back on the video podcast.
I mean, he's Hollywood. Well, not Hollywood.
He's not Hollywood. New York. You know what's fucking crazy? Like we're best friends. And it's so cool that he's on the show, because I've had friends and people I know who have been on the show, like Brooks Wheelan, Melissa Villasenor, who's on, John Radinsky, Leslie Jones, so many people.
Yeah.
And I know them pretty well.
Yeah.
But not enough to talk their ear off.
Yeah.
About the place and the institution and all that.
Yeah.
Like you'll catch little things here and there.
Yeah.
But I'm not close enough with them to like go to a diner and be like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
I want to know what it smells like.
Yeah.
What the walls feel like. You know, here's draw the blueprints of the building.
Yeah.
This isn't terror related. This is just curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're sure,
and Aristotle and Ari is that guy that you can do that with.
Yes.
Know? Yeah.
And that's what's great about it. Like I don't have to hold back. I can know everything. I can.
Yeah.
I have a deeper dive than I've ever had before, and it's great.
It's exciting, man, because like for me, like knowing the four of you, GOATFACE guys, it's like one, I used to watch you guys in film school, like these, and I've told this story a million times. Like all these film students try to do these little comedy, little short films, and I'm like, you guys fucking, and we have all the equipment at our disposal. We have a whole crew. We got the sound department, we got the editing students, the sound effects students, the director, the cinematographer. Like we could have like 20 people, like of film students, to do one video, and it's shit, and it's not funny, and it like the jokes don't land. And then I would see these videos of just you two, you and Aristotle, and I'd be like, and I'd spin my laptop and like, now this is comedy, you know. I'd pull up like the Domino's video or the Dirty Breaking, and I'd be like, this is fucking comedy, and this is done by two people, you know. And that, I mean,
did they like it?
I don't know, because
they're like, whatever.
I think it was this whatever aspect of it, because I'm like shitting on their work and being like, but this is better. So now they're watching this out of spite, pettiness. I don't know.
Right. It's loaded. They can't just accept it for what it is.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Dude, well, what you're saying is it's very cool. And I think there's a lesson to take out of that. And it's something that I've always known and know more and more the longer you do comedy, is that you can have the best equipment in the world.
Oh, yeah.
The most expensive equipment. But not, like all that doesn't hold a candle to an idea, a singular idea.
Yeah.
You don't need much. Some of my funniest stuff, I think, or things that even I'm most proud of, will just be an Instagram sketch that I do where I'm playing both characters.
Yeah. Done on an iPhone.
Yeah. And I just continue to put them out, and it just shows you the power of an idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes people use equipment as an excuse.
Yeah.
Or they put this barrier. It's easier to put barriers in front of you than to just do the thing, than to jump in.
Yeah. It's funny because this ties into the podcast that we did with Aristotle back in 2018, because we had this conversation, because I was one of the students that would the first message I sent to Aristotle in like 2011, 2012, I was like, hey man, what camera did you use for this? Like,
yeah, you're young. You don't know any better.
Because
you think equipment translates to good.
Yeah, and I tell the number one question I get asked, and I would always, this was like a little joke I would always say, it's like the number one question, the second question I would get asked behind where is FouseyTube, the second question is what camera should I buy? And everyone thinks that if they get their hands on a great camera, game's over.
Game over.
Like they're gonna create.
I'm Christopher Nolan.
They're gonna have like, they're gonna have. What lens do I need? What camera? What sensor size should I get? You know, and I'm like, dude, I can give you I can hand you a $20,000 camera.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to do with it, or if you don't have that idea, it's gonna look like shit. But if I give someone who knows what they're doing an iPhone,
that's all they need.
They're gonna create gold.
Equipment should facilitate the idea.
Yeah.
Not revolve around a lens.
Yeah.
And a camera.
And once you have that camera, it takes so long to understand how to work it. And I'm not talking about like the buttons you press and the settings you set. It's like, okay, I have this camera. How do I light this now? How do I frame things? How do I the depth of field?
Also, so much can be forgiven if the idea is great.
Yeah. Yeah. And we learned that, me and Fousey learned that when we were doing YouTube videos, because so I was like always kind of like rolling with him, places we would go and things we would do, and we would be invited by other YouTubers or YouTubers who are just starting out. They're like, hey, like, can you come and collab with me on a video? And me and him would show up, and to some other YouTuber's location or house or studio or whatever, and they had like a whole on crew. They got the sound guy with the boom, they got the 4-point 3-point lighting, they had like red cameras that are like $20,000 to $50,000, you know. They had hair and makeup, they had the whole gambit of like a crew, and they treated a YouTube video like it was a short film or like a very high-end video, and no views. Like it would get no views. But a video me and him would do on like a shitty little like camera would get like 10 million views. And it goes back to like, even if our like idea is gimmicky, if the idea is there,
Sure.
the views will come and the eyes will watch it. But you could spend literally 10 grand on a YouTube video and it can fall flat, you know? And that's very disheartening because people think they need that like 10 grand.
Yeah, grow it as you grow. You don't need the best equipment out the gate. Just get started and then build it out as you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but what's so cool is Aristotle, we talked after his first...
Oh, his
on
Sunday
Saturday. We chatted. Yeah, and that's kind of a mind fuck. It's great to just watch Saturday Night Live, something you grew up with.
Yeah.
And your friends on there. And you just talk to him about it the very next day.
Yeah.
It's like you're talking to the TV.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So the whole point was I bump into Asif and we're talking and I was like, we should go to New York. Like, let's go to New York and watch like one of these Saturdays. Let's go.
Yeah.
And just support our boy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm totally down. So I think we're going to go sometime. But we want to let him get settled in and everything.
Yeah, before you
I'm
start
sure it's gotta be
guest list.
Yeah, it's like new territory.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow up his spot.
Yeah.
Let him get his legs for the first couple weeks and then maybe at the end of the season
he can start asking for guest list names and stuff, you know. But no, that's and it goes back to I think what I was touching on, like back to the film school references. You know, I get to LA and then, you know, I'm doing these small little videos with you guys, the four of you. And it's like, okay, then after a while, it's like, oh, I get to know all four of you on like personal levels. And you see how talented each individual is in their own regard, in their own respect. And it's like, damn, why isn't this guy like you want like Hasan to pop off and you're waiting for Asif to get that big thing, and you're waiting for you to get that thing, and you're waiting for Ari to get that thing, and you're just kind of like, just when's it gonna happen?
Yeah.
And when it happens, you're like, oh shit, Daily Show. Oh shit, SNL. Oh shit, WandaVision. Oh shit, like you're doing your shit with a comedy, and you're like, okay, finally, it's about time. You know, it's like I've known these guys, like the crew, for like 8-9 years now, and you're just kind of waiting for like your friends to take off.
Yeah.
So when it happens, it's like, I don't know, it's there's a different level of excitement, you know, where you're like, this person deserved it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Patriot Act happens, you're like, this guy deserved it. You know, everything that happens, you're like, man, like it's about time. Like the world recognized this individual, and you know, and it's funny because every once in a while, like I'll like check the YouTube comments, and it's like the same thing about you. It's like, when the fuck is the world gonna recognize Fahim's talent?
Yeah, I mean, that's nice and everything, and it's very sweet.
Yeah,
but I don't. It's very cool to read those comments and everything, but I'm like so content. And if that does like whatever the bigger thing is, I already think I've won. I get to do stand up at all the top clubs, and I feel like I'm playing with house money. Honestly, I did the two biggest things that I wanted to do. One was like have a stand-up special.
Yeah.
And then to have a sketch special. Yeah. And I did it with GOATFACE. And I want to continue doing things and stand up and do another sketch show or something, or be involved in that. Everything else is just icing.
Yeah.
Like I make good money and I get to do stand up at all the clubs. I'm like one of the top stand up guys in LA. Yeah. I can get up anywhere, and so everything else is just going to be icing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's very nice to read those comments, and that people want that. I guess they want other people to know about what they know. Yeah. It's like being an indie band or something. Yeah. But that's out of your control, you know. All you can do is just like keep doing stand up, and
that's a good reference. The indie band reference, because like everyone's like, I was here on ground floor. Yeah. Like I was there. The second you like start selling out Madison Square Garden, everyone's like, is fucking sell out.
Kind of.
Fucking...
yeah, that's the thing. You want to get so big
Yeah.
that people start to hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, Kevin Hart, that's the trajectory Kevin Hart it's at right now.
You know what's fucking insane, though? I mean, I was going to post this, but I didn't want it to look like too petty.
Yeah.
So I'll just say it on a podcast because that's harder to find.
Yeah.
I just wanted to post a picture of the GOATFACE poster, you know, that we did for Comedy Central.
Yeah, I remember.
Where we're all in those spacesuits.
Yeah.
So it's me, Hasan, Asif, Aristotle, and just write like, Comedy Central didn't pick this up in 2018.
That is...
Whoops.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We served it, and it was a great...
Yeah, dude. I
It
feel
was
like...
like a great show.
Yeah.
Look at all the people. Look how talented those guys are.
Oh, yeah.
And where they are now.
Yeah.
And we fucking served it up to them.
Yeah.
And they were like not bro-y enough.
It was
like,
ridiculous.
We weren't like white bros or something.
Yeah. Because I feel like everyone that knew you guys in the GOATFACE team, we were all like, oh, this is a slam dunk. Like, you guys got this. You got the hour special on Comedy Central. It's over. These guys, and then it's like, you know, I'm following up with Asif, like, hey, what's the deal? Oh, we're shopping it around to like this spot and that spot, and you know, I follow up with you, like, you know, what's going on? Oh, you know, like, but we're optioning it or whatever, and I'm just like, these motherfuckers are like sleeping on
man.
this, you know, and now it's like, I hope some executives like, fuck.
They're never like that.
I know. But like in your fantasy and like
they only take credit for the wins, you know? Like
that's true.
Yeah, it was just interesting to be like, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Hasan's show's on Saturday.
Yeah, Nokia, right?
Are you going to Saturday or are you going to Sunday?
I thought it's Thursday and Friday.
Oh, it's Friday and Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll go to one. Oh, fuck. Then maybe Friday.
We're going on Saturday. Like
Saturday,
Asif,
I'm doing a gig in. Wait,
the 16th.
I'm in Sacramento doing some Dirty Bird festival. I'm doing stand up in an electronic music festival.
Oh well, you'll go.
Asif is doing it though too.
On Saturday?
Yeah, so he may have to cancel on whatever the plans were. He when I saw him at the store, he said Thursday or Friday.
Ooh.
I mean, let's figure this out.
Yeah. Anyways, that's not the point.
The point is, our boy's back in town, and another one of our boys is on SNL.
Yeah. Well, it's been dope, man.
Yeah, very cool. And like, we talk every week, and
yeah,
it's very exciting. It's like you have a man on the inside.
Yeah. No, that's
like very Game of Thrones. I'm like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
He's a little bird.
Yeah.
Flying around Studio 8H.
Oh no, it's fun, man.
Outside of that, season premiere, United States of Al.
Okay.
That's another thing that happened.
Huge, man.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, did you see it?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
To be honest, I don't watch the show.
Okay. How am I just finding out that you don't watch the show at all?
Yeah, I've never watched the show. I've watched the pilot, and I've watched like I was on like this like screening like season launch back in like March or something, where there was like a panel with like the producers and stuff, and I think you
was I there?
I don't know if you were. It was like a CBS little like Zoom panel, and that was like the only 2 episodes I watched, and then I saw the clip of Al and Ariana or Azita's little thing on Twitter, but that's about it, man. So I haven't watched this new. I haven't really watched anything since.
Sure.
Has your episode aired?
No, I think it's the third or fourth.
So you're
episode.
part of the season, the new season.
I'm in an episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and my episode is when all the shit was going down with the pullout.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, no other show has had to experience this and deal with this, where you're writing a sitcom.
Yeah.
And then we had to alter our pilot script, or not pilot, but our season opener, our season premiere, because of the events of what were going on.
Yeah.
It would be so tone deaf if we just did business as usual and pretend like that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So it was this huge wrench, just as a team to figure that out, but then also emotionally, as Afghans in the room, and other people have a closer association. They still have family there, and they were trying to get friends or family out of there. And so it's like we're trying to figure out this new episode and our new angle and what we should do, how to attack it. And while simultaneously people are on the phone, and because this is a story about an Afghan interpreter and his Marine friend, there's people with military background in the writer's room, and then there's people with this is interesting cross section. We've talked about it, where you have some veterans and people who have that knowledge, and then you have the Afghans. And because of that relationship, some of them were able to get out of Afghanistan, like using the military contacts, and maybe more so than if they were just alone trying to figure it out themselves. So that was kind of beautiful to see on a human level, just this coming together and everyone passionately trying to do what they can with what's going on. And then there was the decision made to no laugh track, and it's I recommend anyone should watch it. Just the first episode. I mean, watch the whole thing, but like the premiere is very different than anything that's been on TV, and I think it's really moving.
I read some tweets and people tweet about it.
And on Twitter, it's crazy that usually that's just a hate black hole. But the response has been overwhelmingly positive. For the premiere on Twitter, and that was nice to see. Because normally, that doesn't happen on Twitter.
I read some of those tweets, and it's funny actually that we're talking about like the evacuation. I was texting my cousin last night, and he was like, "Hey man, come to Texas." I'm like, "When?" And he was like, "Now." I'm like, why? He was like, "Yeah, I'm here." I'm like, he's from Virginia. I'm like, why the fuck would I go to Texas? And I was like, "Oh, are you doing refugee shit at the like El Paso base?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm here for like 3 months." And he was like, "I'm translating." And I'm like, "Oh, this guy's Farsi sucks." But I was like, if you're there, and I'm like,
if you're there and your Farsi sucks that much,
so literally,
maybe I should.
That's literally my thought
Farsi's
process.
Fucking terrible, dude. Don't get me wrong, you have a huge heart, but your vocabulary is very small.
That was my thought process.
They let you?
And he literally said, he was like, "Yeah, they just did a little test and I passed." I was like, "Huh, okay." And so like in my head, I'm like, well, my HBO gig finishes this Friday. Like our writer's room finishes on Friday. And I'm like,
do I do that?
Yeah, I'm like, should I do that for like a month or two? Go to Texas and like work at this camp? Because like in 2016, when the refugee crisis was happening in Greece, my mom and my sister, my younger sister, went to the camps in Moria in Greece and Lesbos to volunteer and work there. And, so I was like, I'm like, this is local. This is like right, in El Paso. So I don't know. I've been thinking it over, and I'm like, I don't know if I should approach this, or I'm like, I'm going to email the person tonight and see where it goes. And I don't know, it might be a month or two without an episode, or if so, it might have to be remote. If not, then I'm sure we'll
figure it out. Maybe I'll guest it up.
That's what I was thinking. You have
fucking get rid of you and get guests in here. While you're helping the refugees,
and then the podcast will blow up, and then I'll come back and like, who's this fucking guy?
I just have your picture hanging like you died.
Like a little shrine, right.
Or it's just an iPad, like you don't even say anything, but you just like listen to the whole podcast. But we live stream you on an iPad.
That'd be hilarious.
And then at the end, you just go like this, just to prove it wasn't a picture. And that we wasted your time.
I don't say anything, but just thumbs up. But yeah, that's
So I mean, it was just interesting thoughts on this whole premiere and all that. Because when you work, it's very interesting to work on something that has a ripple effect with pop culture or Twitter or like I'm in a writer's room. These are just people to me. I pull into Warner Brothers. It's just a place you work, like anybody works anywhere else. But imagine the thing you work on trends on Twitter, or you see it on Good Morning America, or people have hot takes on it, or then you see, because Twitter is almost like it's like improv. It's kind of like people just memeing and having a good time and kind of like shitting on something before they even know what it is a little bit.
Yeah.
So like I think somebody posted a clip of the premiere, you know, because it's like it's drama. It's pretty much just like straight up drama. There's hardly any jokes in it because it would be disrespectful to have hard jokes.
Yeah.
And if we did, we would get crucified.
Yeah.
It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, they're like, hey, where's the jokes? Oh, this is a sitcom.
Yeah.
And you do jokes, they'd be like, how can you make jokes at a time like this?
Yeah.
So I think there was the promo, it was like a 30-second just promo for the special episode.
Yeah.
And someone put that and be like, I forgot what they said, but it was like, can you believe blah, 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 or this looks terrible. And then it's like yes-anding on Twitter. You quote it and then you add your joke to it.
Yeah.
And then so that just like rips around the internet and all that stuff. But if they saw the entire episode, I don't think that they would. It's easier just to have a hot take or to view something through your own prism.
Yeah.
And just, you know, put your seasoning on it without knowing the full context of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's more fun to take a 30-second teaser and interpolate what you believe it to be. Yeah. Rather than to take it in its entirety. Mm-hmm. Like context isn't fun.
Yeah. It's more work and effort
It's more work and effort. Just seeing a clip or seeing somebody else's quoted tweet, you go, "Oh, I get the game here. All right, here's my joke for it." Yeah. And then everyone takes a stab at making their joke that many times, even though it's not the full picture if they saw the entire episode, because I think it is a kind of a moving episode. Mm-hmm. But if you just take that 30-second clip, I can understand how everyone can have fun in games with that clip. Yeah. Because you have an idea of what a traditional sitcom is. Mm-hmm. And this is out of that. Yeah. You're not used to this, so it's easy to just like pile up on it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting to be a part of something where, because normally you're on the sidelines watching it happen on Twitter, or you're taking part. Like I bet I've been guilty of seeing something and then just running with it with a joke. Yeah. But then when you're on the other end of it, you go, oh, it's interesting. You get a different perspective on it.
Yeah. Are you on set when they record and film?
Well, there's still COVID protocols in place, so all the writers aren't on set. We're in the writers' room, and then we'll watch it on TV. Yeah. But then there's a writer of the week, so every week one of the writers gets to be on set for that week. Okay. So I have been on set for one of the weeks. Yeah. And then you're on the floor, you're pitching alternative lines. Yeah.
How long does it take you guys to break down an episode?
It could be like a day or two. That's just to like lay out the beats. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One other thing on these are novel enough ideas where I should bring it up on the pod. So when people like the way the show's interpreted for some people on the internet, like you'll see these like woke white people will be like, what is this shit, blah, blah, how could they, and they want to take this off the air and all that. And I just think it's so interesting that there's Afghan, like this show is scaffolding for Afghan artists and like actors and writers. Yeah. Like Zita's on it. Yeah. Zadran, I believe he's another Afghan. Like I got to act I'm one of the writers. There's another Afghan writer. There's another Afghan like Miriam. Yeah. Hila. Yeah. So it's they've built this scaffolding as a pipeline for talented Afghan artists to be able to work in the industry, and without it, we never get hired. Yeah. you know?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that exists. Yeah. But then sometimes white woke Twitter interprets it in a way however they feel, and they think that they're caping for the Afghan people. Yeah. Like, hold on, Afghans, I'm going to blow up the only good thing that you have in the entertainment industry, or like a good thing that has been built up as a pipeline for Afghan artists. Uh-huh. And to see them try to destroy it on Twitter sometimes, you go, you don't need to fight this one for, like, why don't you ask the why don't you ask the Afghans how they feel, instead of just assuming this is the thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Afghan take is very nuanced too, because you have both sides of the spectrum, and then you have the center. You know, you have people who enjoy the show and love it. You have Afghans who hate the show and what it stands for. And then you have individuals that are just like, it's just a show. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, indifferent.
And so it's like we have, and we have people that live in between all of them, all like the spectrum. So yeah, it's like, listen to the Afghans. And this actually happened back in March, when like the trailer kind of came out and it kind of went viral and stuff. And then Reza Aslan had his like Twitter moment, and there's like a clubhouse room of like non-Afghans talking about the show. Fine, whatever, talk about the show as much as you want. But then it's like, well, let's hear some Afghan perspectives. And then Afghan voices were coming in that weren't agreeing with the narrative. And then they start speaking over Afghans and they start yelling at Afghan women. And we're like, bro, like, you're on this fucking crusade. But then when we're actually speaking and we're sharing our critique and our opinions, not only are you speaking over us, you're yelling at us. Well, the fuck is going on here, like, you didn't give a shit about Afghans in Afghanistan and anything prior to this sitcom, right? And I'm talking about like non-Afghans of that Central, South Asian, Middle East region, Iran, Pakistan, places from the Middle East, Arabs, that were voicing these critiques, which were valid critiques, which is fine, But if you never gave a shit about the Azoraz being like burned alive in Iran, the Pashtuns being persecuted in Pakistan, all this shit that's happening within your respective countries, the injustices are, anyways, I don't want to get too political, but I was like, yo, like, if we're going to talk, like, let us talk. But anyway, but yeah, it's exciting. The premiere's out and more episodes to come every week.
Yeah.
What day should we keep an eye out for?
Thursdays,
you guys.
Thursdays.
Keep Fahim in the writer's room every Thursday.
Keep me employed, guys.
Yeah.
I like money.
Yeah.
I like money.
But, sometimes I like in this writer's room that I'm in, I'm like, I like money. Mm-hmm. But do I like working for money?
You bring up an interesting point.
I do not. I do not. And I'm like... there's possibly going to be a strike tonight, possibly.
Oh, the IATSE?
Yeah, IATSE strike, one of the
Tell
unions.
people what IATSE is.
I don't know what IATSE is, but from my understanding of this last week, it's a union for individuals that aren't the writers and the directors. It's
like writers' assistants.
Yeah.
It's like gaffers,
it's people on the set.
Right?
Not cinematographers, but like people within the
sound people.
Yeah, like camera operators and stuff.
Grips.
Yeah, so everyone who's not like the main people on set, they're part of this
makeup
union.
Artists.
Yeah, they're part of this union called IATSE. And bro, they like, because I've been on these sets and they work us like crazy where like there'll be like 16-hour work days or 18-hour work days, and it's like they expect you to be at work in a few hours, so, and the pay is shit. It's like, all right, if you have these demands, at least compensate properly. So the compensation's not there, the work hours aren't right. So this union is
that happens today.
Yeah, literally, like till this day. And and then they do this thing called Fraturdays, which is you work super late Friday into Saturday. So you'll work from like Friday to like 3-4 a.m. on Saturday, and that's called like a Fraturday. And the biggest like offenders is like Netflix, HBO Max.
Hey, that's your work.
All these Amazon, like, who got fired. I know, right? I just got
1 week left.
Just got to text them out.
I like how you just wait. You go, hey, it's Friday. Where are you? Bro, it's Friday. You're supposed to be down.
Yeah. So it's these now with like media and these streaming networks, people want fast content, and it's like people are working round the clock,
dude,
to like
human consumption, of media, it's insane.
It's insane.
Remember back in our day, it was just like if you got one thing a month, everyone talked about it.
Yeah,
an album came out. I had this thought too, like, man, back in the day, if an album came out, I had to go to Circuit City. I had to ride my bike. I had to walk by washer and dryers and vacuum cleaners. I had to go and get a plastic thing have a guy like take it out of the plastic thing.
Yeah.
You know how the CD was in a bigger thing so that you couldn't steal it?
Yeah.
So then they would take it out of the plastic thing. There'd be cellophane on it and all that. There was a ritual to buying a CD.
Yeah.
Now the new Drake album just fucking beamed into your pocket as a kid.
There you go.
Everything you could ever want is in your pocket. Just beamed to you over, Wi-Fi.
Now here's another scenario that a lot of the youth don't have to
They have everything at their fucking fingertips.
Yeah.
They don't have to work for anything.
If we heard of an artist, like if I'm like, Fahim, you got to check out this new artist called Backstreet Boys. And you're like, how do I?
Yeah. Are they like?
Yeah. So now you're like, how do I hear about them? You go to Tower Records. Bro. And then there were little booths at Tower Records.
Oh my God. I forgot about this shit.
Yes, deep cut. And in these little booths have like all these albums that you can listen to.
And there's numbers associated with the album. So it's like 392.
And
bye.
Yeah, and
you listen to NSYNC,
so
and you go, oh, I like these boys.
There you go. And if you wanted to stream back in the early 2000s, 90s, 80s.
The only streaming back then was peeing. Tip your weights down, everybody. I'll be here all week. Back in my day, streaming was peeing. Thank you, good night. That's how much I believe in that joke.
Yeah.
It's my closer.
All right, perfect.
Thank you, good night. Streaming.
Are you performing tonight?
I am.
I might come by.
Nice.
Comedy store?
Yes.
Okay. I hope you...
Dude, yesterday I did improv. Then I bounced over to the Comedy Store.
Ooh. Have you been doing these like double headers?
Not really. So here's what's been happening. I think I've talked about it, where I'm pretty much at the Comedy Store is my main jam. It's always been my main jam.
Yeah.
But pre-pandemic, I would bounce around a lot just because I was used to bouncing around a lot and I didn't have a writing job. So I would do 2-3 sets a night.
I remember those nights.
I would go to the Improv. I would go to Laugh Factory. I would go Comedy Store.
There were nights Sumer Khan and I would catch you at like 2-3 of the shows. We'd catch you at the store and you're like, oh, I'm about to go to an Improv. And we're like, you want to go? Yeah, let's go. And we would just like follow you there and we would park and we'd watch you at the
thing. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happens and it just made me realize, it made me have more of a normal life. I had more time and then just you have perspective on it. And I realized I don't need to be doing 3 shows a night.
Yeah.
That's good when you're first doing comedy, like in your first couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe your first 6, 8 years.
Yeah.
Even 10, whatever, do multiple sets a night.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point now where if I do 1 on a night, that's enough for me to still grow and do what I need to do. And on top of that, I have the writing job. So my time is limited.
Yeah.
I get out at 6 sometimes, 6:30. I don't have a lot of time to bounce around and do all these shows and like eat and try to get a workout in and then also read a script at night before I go. So I just don't have the time to do 2-3 sets a night. So I get up at the store, like any avail I put in, I get that day. So my baseline is like Tuesday. I take Wednesday off too, just because I like to have. So I'll do Tuesday. This week I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But normally I'll take Wednesday off. So I'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
But then Paige at the Improv will hit me up and be like, hey, it's cool to be in a position now, because I remember when I was a younger comic and you're like a runt.
Yeah.
You're trying to get stage time, but you can't get stage time. So you just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
But you don't have a lot of stage time. And now to be at a point in your career where I have to turn down so many shows. I get hit up all the time to do shows.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. LA.
Mr. Worldwide. Well, that's just what happens.
No, that's amazing though.
You kind of grow in your field and you climb these tiers.
Yeah.
And you've just been in the game long enough where you become one of the guys where it helps certain shows or there's an order of operations. If you're booking a show, you start here and then you just try to fill it out.
Yeah.
But my time is too, I would love to do the improv more, but I don't have the time.
Yeah,
and I'll kill myself if I try. Not like I'm going to put a bullet in my head, but I'll be exhausted.
You're burning yourself out.
I'm burning myself out.
Yeah.
I have to find that balance.
Yeah.
But I did it on Friday. Sometimes I'll be able to do like one day. I'll say Friday or Saturday. I can double up.
The weekend.
But not all the time. Usually it's just I do the store.
Well, that's dope, man. I mean, do you miss it when you did that, when you went from improv to store, where you're like, damn, I miss these nights?
Yeah, man. Like,
because you're seeing different crowds at the different,
yeah,
not crowds like audience, but like comedian crowds, you know?
yes, there's different vibes.
Yeah.
I still will do other. I just have to be more selective.
Yeah.
That just means if I do a different venue, it has to be better than swapping it out for the store.
Okay.
Because the store is pretty great.
Yeah.
But if it's another cool show that I've heard good things about, I'll swap out my Tuesday with the store, and I'll do there instead of the store.
Okay.
You know, but a lot of the times there's people ask me to do the shows, and the store's way better. So I'm gonna I'm not gonna do some bar show and swap out the main room at the Comedy Store on Friday.
Sure. True.
Yeah.
Okay. Mailbag?
Mailbag. All right. We've got quite a few, dude.
Oh, yeah, because we went a week or two without hitting the mailbag. Well, while you pull that up, today I hit up a work picnic, a little ridiculousness MTV work picnic.
Oh, yeah?
And it was just like, because this is the first time any of us got together since COVID. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, yeah, me and you are on emails. And, oh, yeah, you message me on Slack all the time. What's up, man? You know.
Nice. You gotta put the face to the Slack.
And then I start like seeing everyone's like work ethic. I'm like, look, man, you can be real. I'm not gonna snitch. Like, do you get started at 8:30? Because we all work from home,
right?
And starting this HBO thing, I didn't know how good I had it at MTV, because I do my work. I haven't been fired in the last year or so, but I also like am very like, I take my leisurely time.
Yeah.
I get to work on my own schedule. I wake up when I want to wake up, and I do the work when I want to do the work. And I get to work. Matters. That's all that matters. I get to work anywhere I want in the world because it's remote. But with like at HBO, I got to be in the office at a certain time, and I have to wear clothes every day.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I have to, and I think that was like one of the questions I asked you when I first got started. Like, did you go shopping to buy a new outfit?
No, I have enough.
Yeah, well,
I have clothes.
I don't, unfortunately. So
you've just been naked this whole time?
Basically. But anyway.
I guys had a loincloth. I had to get jeans?
So here's an so when I go to these potlucks, I always they're like, what are you gonna bring? Whatever. I'm not gonna fucking cook for people. So unless I'm like inviting guests over. So I went to I've done this multiple times. I go to KFC, I get a bucket of fried chicken, I swing by the grocery store, get those aluminum trays, like food trays or whatever that's like disposable after one use, and I just dump the bucket in there, and I'm like, I made the fried chicken, and people love it. But if I were to tell them it was KFC,
bro,
they'd be like, what the fuck?
This is a great life hack.
Yeah. And so if I tell them like, oh, this is KFC, they're gonna be like, ugh. But if I'm like, oh, I made this, and they eat it,
this is delicious.
100%. That's literally what they say, and they're like, this is
Whoa,
incredible.
This is the power of the mind.
Yeah. So I made the mistake because I was like, oh, if our whole company is gonna be there. There's like 80 people on staff. I think if everyone's gonna be there, I should buy like 2 buckets of chicken. Man, 1 bucket didn't even get done. Like half the 16 pieces, I would say like 13 pieces. Right?
What's funny is who gives a shit? You just bought it from KFC. You make it sound like you actually poured over it all night.
No. Like I don't care if they ate it.
No one ate my fake.
The problem
fried chicken.
The problem is now I have 20 pieces of chicken sitting at my house, and I'm like, what the fuck?
What do you mean problem?
Hey, for skinny Baluch 5 years ago, it wasn't a problem.
Now it is.
Chubby Baluch with a slow metabolism, I'm like,
yo, that's not keto?
It is kind of technically, but it's just so, I don't want to die.
Eat it, dude.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, mailbag.
All right. This is from Bill A. Subject heading improv. Hi guys. Hope all is well. I notice you're doing a lot more improv now. How has that been? Do they ever put out any videos of the improv sessions or no? All the best, Billy the Goat. P.S. Go back on Bobby Lee's podcast. This was sent before Bobby did ours.
That's so funny. Wait, what does he mean by you're doing more stand-up now?
I think he just sees me at the improv more. But what's crazy is I'm probably doing it less than I did.
Improv.
I'm probably doing it less than I did back in the day.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just perceiving it as more.
Okay.
They don't really tape those. Although sometimes when I headline, when I do like a night in Irvine or I do a headlining set in Brea, I'll film those just to have. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm chopping up. And whenever I headline a weekend somewhere, I'll like I'll tape it. And then just that. The pandemic has taught me it's nice to have a library of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just should have been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't as clear as it was now. Mm-hmm. This direct pipe to the people and cutting out the barriers of entry like Netflix and like all that is well and dandy when it's there.
Yeah.
But like I should have been recording and just because I write so much anyways.
Yeah.
Like I should have been doing this years ago.
Yeah, man.
But whatever. That's what I'm just embracing it and like I'm already doing a show. Why not fucking hit the record button?
Yeah.
And keep it on my hard drive just in case I ever want to do something with it.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. This is from Esther. Yes, do a live show. Hi. I think you guys had mentioned it as a fundraiser for Afghanistan, but either way, please do a live show. Glad you guys are back.
If we do the fundraiser show, it's just going to be a comedy show. It's not going to be a live podcast.
Right. We're trying to raise money.
I got the organization. It's called Mary's List, and what they do is that they help resettle Afghans, refugees, not Afghans and Syrians. Like if they get housing through the government or whatever, they're just in an empty apartment, you know, and they have literally nothing. They don't have like toiletries, blankets, pillows. They have nothing. So this foundation, Mary's List, provides like blankets and pillows and beddings and beds and towels and clothes, you know, for these newly resettled refugees. So now, I think if now it's up to the balls in your court, if you can get us the Laugh Factory, you know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk to them.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, this one's from Tabrak Sadiq, our friend.
Yes.
Pasta and name clarification.
Frequent writer.
Yes. Hey guys, me again. Thanks for the advice on pasta. Her hesitancy to use the other pasta stems from growing up Middle Eastern. Don't know about you guys, but penne and spaghetti were the only options my mom cooked with. I branched out, but she didn't. I made her listen to your answers, and first off, she's horrified about the sexual euphemism, LMAO. And second, she's agreed to taste my linguine, eyes emoji. Oh, and every refugee will always tell you they have their passport last name and their actual last name. So I've got 2 last names. By the way, Fahim, since COVID restrictions have eased, any plans to come to London for some shows? Speak soon, jabronis. Tabrak Anwar.
Oh, well.
Whoa.
Any London shows? I'm actually planning to do a London trip.
Bro, I mean, I was there doing the Soho Theater before the pandemic. I think it was in 2018 or 2019.
It was 19.
I was there for a week.
Because you did Ireland.
How did if you didn't see me then?
You did Ireland, right?
Yeah.
You did
I did Montreal.
Yeah.
And then I did.
You did Germany?
No. I want to, dude.
Netherlands.
I did Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, that's what
so
it
I
was.
did Montreal, the comedy festival there, and then I went to Ireland to do the Vodafone comedy festival.
Yeah.
And then I did Amsterdam. And then London?
Yeah. I'm planning a London trip. If this translating thing doesn't pop off, then I'll do London in December or something.
Have you been?
Yeah. It's been
nice.
Spent a lot of my summers growing up in North London.
That's why you have an accent.
Oh yeah.
That's why you have a thick British accent.
Oh, okay.
And you say mate all the time.
Hello, mate.
Where is
I
that?
don't know.
Is that Australian?
I don't. I'm not good with accents,
Do you go,
man.
in it?
In it, bruv.
Yeah. Bro.
Can I get a cuppa?
I used to listen to, like, there was this, I didn't listen to a lot of it, but I love the song back in the day, Fix Up, Look Sharp by Dizzy Rascal.
I have no idea what that
is. He was like a grime rapper.
Oh, okay.
Like, fix up, look sharp.
That's
you remember it?
No,
He'd be like, sweet like Tropicana. Sweet like Tropicana. He always said it's like a certain way. And I'd be in my car, and the song's not even on, but I would just go, sweet like Tropicana. Because it was a fun phrase.
Yeah.
You ever do that? Just have phrases like earworms?
That's true. I do.
All right. This is from Nick Nice or Nice. Hey guys. Oh, first of all, subject heading bees and ants. Hey guys, the joke about the blow pop analogy had me dying. But when you started to say it, my thought was when it was a rapper on it, who wants that?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, no. Everyone wants a blow pop with the rapper on it. You know, like that's what you buy. You're not gonna buy a. I'm not trying to feed into this analogy, but I'm just
sure. He goes, when I get that rapper off, I want to suck that shit. Lol. Love the pod. Nick Nice.
Yeah, but
oh, hold on. It's niece, not nice. Sorry, dude.
Okay.
You've got to put that up top.
Yeah.
You don't tell me how to say it after I've fucked it up
Yeah,
multiple times throughout the
true.
paragraph.
Yeah. But I mean,
Nick niece. I
Nick-
apologize.
So Nick, you wouldn't buy the lollipop if it didn't have a wrapper. I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorothy Velasco.
Oh, Dorothy.
Big fan. Hey, Dorothy.
Yeah.
I bumped into Dorothy
She's
in
a
K-Town.
Yeah, she's a K-Town resident. Yeah.
It was crazy because, I didn't think anybody listened to the pod. And I'm just walking around and she was so sweet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
nice,
just
man.
walking down the street and So I actually had an interaction with Dorothy. And she goes, live show, do it. If you plan it, they will come. Let's go. Venue suggestion, Dynasty Typewriter. All right, food for thought. Food for thought.
I don't
That's
know.
right there in K-Town. It's like my old
Oh, perfect.
stomping grounds.
Yeah.
And then this one says, Ollie was right and you were so wrong. This is from Rizik Abdallah. Hello, Fahim. You shrugged off Ollie's prediction about businesses using 9/11 and jokingly mentioned a 9/11 mattress sale. Well, here you go. I guess it exists.
Oh,
It says
wow.
9/11 mattress ad spoofing WTC collapse sparks outrage. So there's a YouTube link here. It says, I commented this on YouTube, but I just wanted to make sure you got it. Thanks for the podcast. Love the new setup. And then two of the okay
Good.
emojis.
That's really funny.
Yeah, you were right, man. Mark K. Can Ollie save MTV? Hi, gentlemen. Glad you're finally back. My question: if Ollie had the opportunity to create content and or control what airs on MTV, what would it be? Cheers, Mark AK.
I don't know, dude.
Bring the grind back.
I don't even remember what the grind was.
It's just like worse Soul Train.
Oh, interesting.
It's basically people wearing 90s clothes at a beach house doing Soul Train. So the dance moves aren't as good.
I think I remember.
It's just like tank tops and other 90s clothes.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And they're just kind of moving around. And then there's
The
Dutch
camera,
angles.
yeah. They
They're
keep
just,
rotating.
they're just moving. And it's like pelvic thrusting.
I'll just bring back the classics. Room Raiders, Pimp My Ride,
Nice.
Yo Mama.
Do you think Exhibit would come back, or they get like Lil Yachty to do it?
I would
They
get a
reboot
new-
it.
I'd get a new rapper.
They go, this is Lil Uzi Vert with Pimp My Ride.
Exhibit's gonna be making like 90s references that no one will get. So I need
That's a good
someone.
point.
I need someone from maybe not
Yo, dog, I heard.
maybe not a 90s rapper, but like a mid 2000s rapper. Maybe like
Nelly? Oh my God, Nelly would be perfect.
Nelly or Chingy.
Chingy? That might be too deep of a cut. Chingy? He had like, what, a year?
Possibly.
I find most rappers have 3 years in them.
Yeah.
Like run-of-the-mill rappers, like 4 years.
Yeah. Because if you don't follow up with a hit, Lil Nas X killed it. Like he figured out the formula to be like every song, every single is like a number one single, you know?
Yeah.
You know who's killing it? Doja Cat. I know your history of Doja Cat.
That's crazy.
And we've talked about it on a previous episode.
Interesting.
But every song of hers on the album is a TikTok banger. Like I'm
Yeah, she's good.
I'm listening to the album and I'm like,
I was like a fan before we even
oh,
matched.
shit. She had some interesting stuff back then, man.
Yeah.
But
It's interesting to be around, or we're older, to see someone get in the machine.
yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people who are talented, but then to see them, like, she's the next Beyonce or something, or maybe that's blasphemy to say or whatever, but add a couple years to it.
Yeah.
There's no stopping to where they can end up.
Mm-hmm.
It's they at least have the potential to rise to these heights.
Yeah.
Because a lot, like once you get to a certain level, a lot of it is you've built upon, it's history, it's years being able to be on track. It's like you've had a few laps around the race car track.
Yeah, that's true.
What do we got here? All right, this is from Sumi PDF. That's a real name, right? Taliban Netflix special is the subject heading. Hey guys, last few episodes you have talked about the situation in Afghanistan / Taliban, and just wanted to hear your thoughts if you think they would in the future make a series on the Taliban like they did with Narcos / Escobar, romanticizing the Taliban and potentially casting someone sexy for bin Laden. All jokes aside, love the pod. Long time listener, first time emailing in.
Well, thank you, Sumi.
Thank you so much. Do you think we should do that?
I think me and you should pitch it.
For sure.
Yeah. We should just pitch like ridiculous things out there. Actually, I have this very funny comedy sketch, or not comedy sketch, like a potential rom-com feature. I might pitch it to you if you want to help me out with it. So one of the writers on this HBO show I'm doing, he's a producer as well. Like he's like shopping around a lot of features and stuff. And he's like, right now he's like brown Middle Eastern Muslim comedies or whatever it is. Like there's like
an appetite for it,
a hunger for it. And he was like, if you have anything, and during lunch I was telling them how like, I'll tell you about it later, but I was like, oh, I had this idea. I was like, I was reading the Quran this year, and I was like, there's some jokes in there. And they're like, what?
You trying to get murdered, dude? What
so
are you?
There's some really.
I don't subscribe to what Ali is talking about. I don't think there's any jokes in the Quran. I think it's airtight. There's nothing funny about it.
Nothing funny.
It's very profound.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone should live their life by it to the T.
I'm not trying to.
Nothing funny.
I'm not trying to like turn my car on. And
I just say your address right now.
Yeah. He lives in Koreatown. If you guys walk around Koreatown, you'll bump into him. You're bound to see me.
He's the mayor of K-Town.
No, that's dumbfounded.
Can you be like a lieutenant or something?
I think so.
Or?
I can be like the Minister of Defense.
Sure.
Yeah. The next Koreatown invasion, I'm there with the Koreatown raccoons. That's a deep cut from last year. Let's see if anyone remembers.
Fuck yeah, I forgot about that.
The raccoons.
All right, this is from Anthu Ma. We've got the best names in the biz, dude.
I love it. We have such a very diverse,
We're a fucking melting pot of emails here. Stoked y'all are putting out more episodes, the subject heading. Okay, if you guys do a live episode, I'm assuming in LA, then I'd make the 7-hour drive from Sacramento. Is it weird that I just show up alone? I feel like a serial killer or something, but at the same time, I just really enjoy my own company, and I'd have a blast making that trip. I know you didn't ask, but I'm also on a roll with starting my podcast with my best friend. Insert self-promotion. And then it's I'm Anjuan podcast, available on Spotify and YouTube. It's been hella fun, and you guys should be proud of 100 episodes. That's a lot of time and commitment, but I'm sure time flies when you're having fun. I'd love to get there one day. Hey, that's nice.
Yeah, I hope so.
And like, best to you on your own podcast journey.
Yeah, man.
Check it out, guys.
I think it's not weird, dude. I go to concerts alone because it's hard to find a friend that likes an artist as much as you do.
I'll go to a movie by myself.
Dude, I go to movies by myself. I
eat by myself. I'll go to a diner.
Yeah, same. I prefer to go to movies alone, because I just don't like that. Let's talk about it on our way out. What'd you think about it?
And you get a fart. Because you don't know these people.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
who cares?
Yeah.
If you were with someone, you'd be mortified if you farted.
Yeah.
But if some strangers just sniff and then look at you, you go eyes up front.
Yeah.
The movie's up there.
Yeah. I've been to concerts alone, and it's funny because I run into Andy at these concerts too.
Oh yeah, he's a big concert guy.
Because like I'll go, like we did the Rage Against or Prophets of Rage concert, and like I'm like in the pit going crazy. I turn around, I'm like, yo, Andy, what's up, man? What are you doing here? And then, but yeah, like prior in the early days, I used to come to your shows alone. That was sad. I would never do that again. Because I'm just sitting there alone laughing in the back by myself.
But I rip into you, even though you're in the back. I'm like, look at most comics will rip into the people in the front row.
Yeah.
I go ham on the last row. I could barely see anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at his fucking silhouette in the back row.
By himself.
Moving his body. Drinking a beverage of some sort. I don't know if it's liquid or water. Look at him, everybody. Everyone has to look behind them.
I'm just going to like put my coat on and just like walk out.
Yeah.
Cover myself.
All right, this is from Jenna Tillman. No subject. Salam, Fahim and Ali. I'm so glad you guys are back. I missed my weekly dose of the Dance Hour energy. Yes, please do the live podcast for your 100th episode. I will gladly fly in, man the cameras, and get you guys water and cheese when you request it. Or whatever people do on sets. Dude, that's fairly close. We do eat a lot of cheese.
I don't appreciate these empty promises.
You think they're empty?
I will fly out.
I want to see a purchase ticket and an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Just for an extended. Like, we don't know when we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But I just want to see that you have bought a plane ticket.
Yeah, buy a plane ticket.
Buy a plane. We're telling our super fans right now. Buy a plane ticket right now.
Yeah.
And just live in LA until we choose or choose not to do.
Yeah.
If we don't do it, then you fly home.
Yeah.
And you've burned all this money.
Yeah.
But that just shows your dedication to the dance hour.
That's true. Yeah, because it's rude that you're promising these things and then we call you up on it,
and then if you're not there,
oh well, I got a meeting I can't miss.
Yeah, we do it, and then there's no cheese.
Yeah,
for the whole podcast.
I would be so upset if
I'd be fucking pissed.
My charcuterie board ain't ain't there.
It's like, yeah, I don't even know. It's not that, but it's like charcuterie board.
Is that what it is?
You call it charcuterie?
Yeah.
I mean, have you said that aloud to people?
You know, I think it's TikTok's fault because they call it charcuterie. Like, you know.
Is it?
No, like that's like the playoff. Because
it's morphed into.
Yeah, charcuterie.
That's not it.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like charcuterie board. Like, I'm even 50-50 on how I'm saying
So the joke started with like a lot of these French people being like, "Oh, it's not charcuterie, it's charcuterie." Yeah. And so a lot of like white French folks did that, and then the joke evolved from there, and then it just got bastardized.
It's like gabagoo.
Yeah.
Like the way it's actually spelled doesn't even sound like gabagoo.
Yeah. So now to me it's charcuterie.
Charcuterie. And you guys, you can Photoshop your plane ticket. If you have free time, I want you to Photoshop your plane ticket for me and Photoshop your Airbnb or hotel stay and show the links.
Yeah.
It could be into the year 3025. I just want to see some
effort.
sort of Photoshop dedication that you're actually going to be here.
Yeah.
All right,
she'll
hold on.
come.
Ali, do you remember around the same time as 9/11, we had the white van sniper attacks in Virginia?
Of course.
And everyone was terrified to leave their homes.
Yeah.
My dad was actually shopping at that Home Depot where the snipers murdered someone.
Oh, damn.
Thankfully, my dad left the Home Depot like an hour before it all happened.
I remember that.
But yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
I remember that too. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, we would like play after school. A lot of us weren't allowed out. My parents would get home at like 5 p.m. and we'd get home at 2. So my parents didn't know. But we would be like in our neighborhood, in a very suburban neighborhood, and like the parents would be like, we'd knock on the door, "Hey, can Kevin come out?" "No, Kevin can't come out today." And it's like there's a widespread panic of like the sniper.
Yeah.
And I remember it was crazy because we would go to gas stations, and my dad's like, you know, we're getting gas. I'm sitting in the back or in the front, and I'm looking around, and people are actually like ducking, trying to like fill up gas because they thought that like, because it was this thing where it's like you don't know where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We know a few gas stations got hit.
Yeah.
So people are like filling gas.
It seems ridiculous, but it feels like the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah. Like they're hiding behind
just
their
so that
car.
you feel you have some control over something you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, how terrifying.
What a time, man.
Way to bring it up.
The early 2000s.
All right, Fahim, I can't believe they tried to set you up with that pie incident. They were totally wrong for that. Please consult with your pie lawyer next time something like that occurs.
I don't remember this pie.
Remember the pie in the break room? You're my pie lawyer.
Yeah,
How the fuck do you not remember the case?
Sometimes, you know.
I entrusted you with my life, and you don't even remember the specifics?
COVID got me brain fogged, man.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
So long as you have long COVID, I'm happy.
I've never had COVID, but I feel like it's a great excuse to brain fog, man.
Oh,
COVID,
right.
you know.
Yeah,
I remember this pie incident.
Ollie getting defensive about the guy saying he eats Arby's had me dead.
I don't remember this either.
I don't really remember that either. As if McDonald's is any better. In terms of foods that will kill you, McDonald's has to be at the top of the list. I still fuck with their fries, though.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's my birthday in a few days. I'm going to be the big 3-0. Ugh. Do you guys have any advice for me? What's life like in your 30s? Would you say you're enjoying your 30s more than your 20s? Or is it all just one big shit show? Until next time, boys, much love.
Your metabolism slows down a lot by your 30s, and you're not going to have the pep in your step as much as you do, and that's about it. You know.
Interesting.
I'm
a fan.
I like my 30s.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. I'm making more money than I did in my 20s.
Bro, I figure like if you do life right.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has different starting points and different circumstances, and I'm just talking like, say if you're middle of the road, whatever.
Yeah.
If you do it right, you don't worry about money in your 30s.
Yeah. If you pay your dues, I mean,
this is such a loaded because people.
Yeah, different people, different experiences, situations.
Yeah, but if you were born into like a middle class family or something, and
like coming out here in my 20s, my early 20s, I was like 22 when I came out here. I was literally hungry, you know, and there were days where I was just dirt broke.
Yeah, your 20s set up your 30s and beyond.
Yeah. Oh, this is how unbroke I am. I mean, I'm still broke, relatively speaking, you know. I don't have 6 figures in my account or anything. But we went to the movies last time, my cousin and I. We went to watch the new Bond film. We didn't realize it's almost a 3-hour film. And I got like a late screening or showing. We were there at like 10. Started at like 10:30. and like it's midnight, and I'm like, let me look up how long this film is. I'm like, there's like another hour and a half. And I'm like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. And I was like, let's just pick this up tomorrow. So, and as we're walking,
like it's a cricket game or something.
Yeah, and that's why I loved as we're walking out. I was like, I love how unbroke we are, where we can afford to pay tickets.
Well, that's a power move.
And treat the theaters like it's a DVD player, and like we'll just come back, we'll pay for a ticket tomorrow, and we'll just resume where we left off.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, I'm willing to do that. It was the new James Bond was pretty dope. It was,
yeah,
you know,
I saw it tonight or today.
Okay, okay. So I was like, I'll just revisit. We left at the forest.
That's a power move I haven't dreamt of even doing. That's interesting.
I've never done
respect
this.
it.
Yeah, and I was just really tired. I was like, yo, I don't have it in me to like.
That's the thing. So you get to a point where you have enough money occasionally, like where 20-year-old you would never do this.
Yeah, never.
But it's just way easier for you.
Yeah.
To be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like this is just easier. My time is more valuable.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna fight sleep to watch James Bond, and I can afford $15 tomorrow. You know.
Yeah. Two observations about like 20s versus 30s is you're just comfortable.
Yeah.
I think there's this nervous energy that exists in your 20s where you're like a step beyond a kid. Because when you're 18, you're still like a child a little bit. And then your 20s, you're like convincing yourself you're an adult. And you are to a degree, but you're like halfway in. And there is this nervous energy and there's this uncertainty about life because you're still trying to get your career going and then relationships as well. There's just this undercurrent of kind of nervous energy. And then your 30s, you're like, I know what this game is.
Yeah.
Like you've played the video game of life long enough where you're like, I know what's up. And it's just, you're like a duck in water. You're comfortable. Also, what I like too, you know who you are. You know what you like. You know what you have time for and what you don't. You value your time way more. In your 20s, you find yourself at a bunch of bullshit. You do so many things you don't want to do in your 20s.
You put up with a lot in the 20s.
Because you feel like you have to, or you feel like people expect you to do these things. You're doing a lot of things for other people and not respecting yourself as much. Like, I mean, I wanted to do a bit where in your 20s, if someone asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, you make up an excuse. Or no, okay. Before your 20s, like in your teens, someone asks you to do something, you just say yes. In your 20s, if someone wants you to do something, you don't want to do it. Fuck, am I fucking it up? Okay, if you're in your teens, if someone says you want to do something and you don't want to do it, you just say yes.
You go.
And then in your 20s, if someone asks you to do something you don't want to do it, you say you can't go, and then you're like, what's the excuse? What can I tell them? Yeah. And you think of an excuse as to why you can't go. In your 30s, you just go, no.
Yeah. Very straightforward.
Because there's even that next layer of liberation of not having to think about the lie I'm going to give. Because even though you've gotten yourself out of it in your 20s and you go, okay, cool, I don't have to do the thing. Yeah. It sucks. Like, what's the lie? Because that's work. Yeah. What's the lie I can tell them? It's so freeing where you just say, no. Yeah. I can't do that.
Yeah. I think when you hit your 30s, you realize how ridiculous a lot of social etiquette is. And you're like, why am I playing by these? Who made these fucking rules? You know, and you just don't give a shit anymore in your 30s.
Well, it's not to an extent. It's not even rude. Someone's be like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Thanks, though. Yeah. I'll say thanks. Yeah. Or I can't do that. Thanks, though. Yeah. Instead of thinking that I owe them a lie.
Do you ever ask who's going to be at a party or a gathering?
All the time.
Yeah. That's the best way to go about it. Like, hey, we're all getting together. Who? Tell me everyone.
Yeah, who's going to be there?
Yeah. Oh, I know one person there. No, I'm not going to go.
You know? Yeah, well, it kind of goes back to what Bobby's saying about how I weigh things out. Yeah. If somebody asks me to do something, I want to know everything about it. Yeah. so that I know what I'm getting into because I value my time. Yeah. And I don't want to put myself in a situation where...
Yeah. I mean, and I'm learning some of these lessons late in my... How old am I?
You just had a stroke.
I'm 32.
What the? Wait, I just start barfing. Just Google it.
I'm 30.
Sometimes I forget what my age is, and I just Google it. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if I'm 31 or I think I'm.
Dude, that happens to me sometimes. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what am I? And I'm like, what year is it? Who am I?
Anyway,
But then it comes back.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a problem. I haven't gone to the doctor for it. It just happens a few times throughout the day. I'm just
Throughout
like,
the day.
where am I? And I wet myself and all that.
Yeah.
And like, who am I?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know I'm a human. I'm like, am I a duck? But then it comes back.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And then I have a sandwich.
You go about your day.
I go about my day.
Yeah.
And then I'll think I'm a frog, you know? And I'm like, am I in the year 3025? But then I look in a mirror and I go, oh, right, Fahim, human, comedian. What's crazy, though, is like, even though I have those lapses in self-identity,
Yeah.
I know my material.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I'm a duck or I'm a frog,
Yeah.
I know my act.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can go on stage thinking I'm a duck and still rip.
It's just muscle
Like,
memory
I
at
think
that
I'm
point.
going,
Yeah.
but the jokes are flying.
People are getting a laugh.
They're loving it.
Yeah. But yeah, I learned something when I was 31. It's like a business thing too. Cause like a client, like when I was doing like video production, a client would be like, hey man, like we're trying to do a shoot and, how much what's our budget? Like, how much do you think you can charge?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd give them like a number, but I would make the mistake of not asking
What you wanted.
well, just super detailed questions. Cause then I'd be like, I'd quote them, let's say like $10, right? And I get there and I'm doing all this work. I'm like, this work is worth $100. What the fuck was I thinking quoting these people $10 when I should have quoted them $100, you know? And I'm like, it was this one shoot I had back in like July. It was like 4th of July weekend. And after that, I was like, anytime I'm asked to do a shoot here on out, I need details, every detail. And I have like, of like what I would ask. And I'm like, you know, and you learn shit even in your early 30s.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I've learned is whenever people ask for me to perform somewhere, they want to know like, hey, what's your rate?
Yeah.
I'll aim high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, depending on what it is, because a lot of the times, like, I don't really want to do this. Like, the way they paint it, it's not that great.
Yeah.
But if they can hit this number, that number does make it worth it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm happy to do it at that number.
Yeah.
But I think younger me would just, like, try to lowball it. Cause, you know?
Yeah.
But now just having self-worth
Yeah.
and knowing what your time is worth and all that,
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, this.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So we keep going or should we?
No, we're in. We're done with the mailbag.
Okay.
Guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, Fahim Anwar, dancehour@gmail.com.
Yep.
That's the email, right?
That's the email for him, amordancehour@gmail.
Send it in.
send us
Rate,
emails.
review. I want some more stars. All right.
Yeah. On Apple Podcasts, review the podcast.
It helps us out.
If you're on YouTube, if you're watching this,
Our Patreon, where we do the one song a week on this playlist, but the Patreon, it's 25 tracks.
Yeah.
Like I do releases. So far, I've done 3 releases.
Okay.
I call it Fahim Anwar Dance Hour Plus.
That's amazing.
That's a good name for it, right? So there's 3 playlists. Each playlist has 23 or 25 songs on it.
Yeah. So not only do you get the playlist, but you also just support the podcast.
Because there's no way to really. I mean, we also do have merch, I guess, Dance Hour shirts and stuff. It's in the YouTube link.
But
I mean, it's a way to support the pod.
Yeah, over the weeks and months, we're gonna start building it out a little bit more.
Yeah,
a little bit more thought into it.
We got editors. We got to pay these people.
We got the dancers down there.
We got the dancers,
and
they don't dance for free.
We got to pay the crew to haul out the dead bodies,
the bulldozers and all that stuff.
Yeah. There's a
a
lot of money that goes into it.
Yeah, the DJ who spins.
Yeah. So if you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment, because the more interaction you do with the YouTube
algorithms
video,
and such,
it'll boost it in the algorithm, and more people will be observing.
Yeah, you guys know how it works.
Yeah, you guys understand the whole
deal.
Yeah.
All right.
The Lala Duba of this.
You ready for the song?
I'm ready. I'm ready to dance out to this.
All right. What's great about this? They do our intro song.
Whoa.
Magdalena Bay.
Yeah, these
came
guys.
out. I love these guys.
Yeah.
That's why I hit them up just randomly.
Yeah.
Because I already love their music. Before we had a theme song to the pod.
Yeah.
I was like, would you guys? I'm just like a big fan. Would you do the intro? And they there was even no notes.
Yeah.
Just I knew they would do such a good job just because I like their stuff. They send it and it's perfect. I go, thanks so much. And they put out a new track and I love it. So this is by them, guys. It'll be on the Fahim Anwar Dance Hour Spotify playlist. It's called Hysterical Us. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, you guys.
Peace.
Dance